Hello everybody, welcome to Cory Turner Talks Cars, and it's time to go 0 to 60 with the Shelby Charger. Now most people, when you talk to them, when you name Carroll Shelby, they think of the AC Cobra, they think of the Mustangs, they even think of the Shelby 1, but very few people realize that Shelby actually worked with Dodge to come out with, a variety of things, but for one, especially the one we're talking about today, is the Shelby Charger, which to me is really kind of one of the forgotten cars of the 80s. I think it was a great car. I always loved the shape of that car. At the time, I owned a Ford EXP, kind of along those lines, but I always wanted to get my hands on a Charger and could only dream to get my hands on a Shelby Charger. And yet most people have no idea that Carroll Shelby worked with Dodge and created the Shelby Charger. So I thought today we're going to take a look at one. Not too long ago, I found one for sale. I'll put a link here so you can go back and check that one out. And I had some really good response on that. Like I said, I had some people ask me, wait, Carroll Shelby worked with Dodge? I'm like, yes, he did. So I thought, you know what? Today, we're going to go 0 to 60 with the Shelby Charger. Now, here's how this game works. I'm going to ask you 6 questions. You get 10 points for each one you get right. If you get all 6 right, well, fantastic. You scored 60. I want you to leave your score in the comments. Let me know which ones tripped you up. If you get a perfect score, great job. I'll give you a shout out. All right, let's jump into it right here and see if you can go 0 to 60 with the Shelby Charger. All right, here we go. Question number 1. For 1983, Carroll Shelby modified the Dodge Charger to be sold at Dodge dealers as the Dodge Shelby Charger. Which of the following was not a primary focus? All right, so when Carroll Shelby started working on this project, one of these was not the primary focus. Which one is it? Was it A, the suspension? Was it B, speed? Or was it C, styling? All right, I'll let you think about that for a second. I'm going to lock in your vote. All right, are you ready? Okay, the answer is, it was actually B, speed. We associate speed with Carroll Shelby, but that really wasn't the primary focus when he started working on the Shelby Charger. So if you answered B, you got that right. Great job. You got 10 points. Let's travel on to question number 2. Here we go. Among other things, Shelby changed the engine compression, revised the ratios of the manual transmission, gave the Charger a new nose and racing stripes. All of this resulted in how many units being sold in year 1? All right, do you know? All right, is it A, 3,760? Was it B, 5,398? Or was it C, 8,251. So how many units did they sell in that first year? Do you know? All right, lock in your vote. Here we go. For another 10 points, the answer is, it is C. Remarkably, they sold 8,251 units in that first year. If you got that right, great job. You know your Shelby Charger history. Give yourself another 10 points. Let's move on to question number 3. Are you ready? Here we go. In 1985, the Shelby Charger got the multi-port fuel injection turbocharged T1 engine that produced how much horsepower? So how much horsepower did that bad boy produce? Was it A, 110 horsepower? Was it B, 135 horsepower? Or was it C, 146 horsepower? All right, I'll let you think about that for a second. Do you know? All right, here we go. The answer is C, 146 horsepower. Now, I want you to think about something for just a second. This is in 1985. So like in 1984, the Chevrolet Corvette, right, the American sports car, was making about 203 horsepower. In 1985, they changed the engine. They bumped that up to about 230 horsepower. So we're not talking about a significant difference. I mean, it's about 100 horsepower or so between the two, but that's the Corvette. So the Shelby Charger actually packed a lot of horsepower, especially for the mid-80s. You got to remember the time frame. In the mid-80s, 146 horsepower, that was really decent. So if you got that right, if you answered C, congratulations. Let's move on to question number 4. Here we go. The base price of the 1983 Dodge Charger was $6,513. What was the sticker price for a Shelby Charger? Was that A, $7,239? Was it B, $8,567? Or was it C, $9,975? All right, do you know the answer? Think about that for just a second. All right, here we go. The answer is, it's B, $8,567. So what, a little over $2,000 and change was the difference between the base Dodge Charger and getting yourself a Shelby Charger. Now in 1983, a couple $1,000 was a big deal, but it's really not that much to go with something that has the history, especially with the Shelby name. So that's pretty cool. Did you get that right? How are you doing so far? Do you still have a shot at getting 60? I hope so. Here we go. Let's move on to question number 5. In 1985, the Shelby Charger had a turbocharger pushing 8 psi of boost, right? 146 horsepower, had 168 pound-feet of torque, a 15.9 second quarter mile at 85 miles per hour, and a top speed of what? Do you know? Is it A, 115 miles per hour? Was it B, 124 miles per hour? Or was it C, 138 miles per hour, right? So it's got that turbocharge with 8 psi of boost, 146 horsepower, 168 pound-feet of torque, and a 15.9 second quarter mile at 85 miles per hour. What was that top speed? All right, got it locked in? All right, here we go. The answer is, it is B, 124 miles per hour. So let's compare that to the Corvette for a second, right? So the Shelby Charger was doing a 15.9 second quarter mile. The Corvette was doing that at about 14.4 at about 95 miles per hour. The Charger was doing it at 85 miles per hour. And the Corvette at that time had a top speed of 150. The Shelby Charger was going 124 miles per hour. All of that pretty close, super impressive. Like I said, love this body style, what they were able to do with it. And those are impressive numbers, especially right there in the middle of the 80s. All right, so how you doing? That's 5 questions so far. Are you sitting at 50? All right, we got one more. Let's go to the final question and let's see how you do. Good luck. I'm rooting for you. Carroll Shelby is mostly known for his work on the AC Cobra and the Ford Mustang. Most people still don't know he worked with Dodge. Who is responsible for bringing in Shelby to work with Dodge? Who was that? Was that A, John Dodge? Was it B, John DeLorean? Or was it C, Lee Iacocca? All right, do you know? Who was the person who brought Carroll Shelby in to work with Dodge? All right, lock in your vote. Here we go. The final answer is that bad boy right there. It was Lee Iacocca. Absolutely. Lee Iacocca is the one that convinced Carroll Shelby to come over. DeLorean was getting ready to start off in some of his craziness with the DMC-12. And Dodge, of course, one of the Dodge brothers, but he wasn't around at that time. So Lee Iacocca was the guy that brought Carroll Shelby in. He was working with Chrysler at that time. So how did you do? Were you able to go 0 to 60? Were you able to score 60 points? So those are some tough questions. I'd have to think that how many units were sold, that was pretty tough. And sometimes the MSRP can be pretty hard as well. So let me know how you did. Please leave your score in the comments. Remember to like, comment, and share. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's talk about cars tomorrow.